Hello, in this tutorial I'll be showing how you can easily edit a photo in Photoshop from the very start to the very end, and this we're going to be learning how you can easily color grade or color correct your raw images, doing skin retouching, color grading, and also saving your images so they don't change in color when you post them on social media. So simply like this video and don't forget to subscribe this channel. So the very first thing we're going to do is simply going to come and take the highlights down and take the whites down, and by that open up a raw image in Photoshop. Simply select the raw image that you want to edit and simply right click and select the Photoshop version you're using, and it's going to open up the camera raw filter in Photoshop. So after doing that, simply add contrast and take the blacks down just like that. Add more contrast into the image. So after doing that, the next thing is going to be we are going to add some warmth to the image by coming to the temperature slider and taking up the warmth a little bit to add some warmth to the image. So after you have done that, the next thing is going to be coming down to our color mixer tool, and you can start to have hue, saturation, and luminance. A hue is basically changing a given color. For example, the yellows, you can see you can make the yellows look like a greens, or you can make the yellows look like the oranges. Basically, that is how he is going to be working. Then saturation is the intensity of a given color. You can increase or reduce on the intensity of a given color. And luminance is the brightness or darkness of a given color. You can see you can darken the greens or you can brighten the greens. So after understanding that, we're simply going to come to the hues and simply play around with the hues. So I'm just going to take the greens just up and take the yellows towards the oranges. And I'm going to come to the saturation and simply desaturate the greens a little bit. Then you're going to come to the luminance and simply darken the oranges slightly to get more of the contrast within the skin tone. So I'll just come back to the hues and simply take this a little bit towards the oranges to eliminate the reds in the skin tone. So if at all you feel like you don't have enough contrast in the image, you can always come and add contrast to the image. So I'll just come and open up the shadows slightly. So after doing that, simply going to come and hit open to open the photo into Photoshop for us to do the skin retouching and other adjustments. So just come to the crop tool and choose a ratio of 45 or 8:10 and get the crop tool and drag up to crop. So you can drag the corners to crop in the image. So just come and hit enter or return and get the spot healing brush tool. Just paint on the soft box just like that to eliminate it, and also eliminate this reflector down here. So after we have done that, the next thing is going to be working or doing the skin retouching first of all. So in order to do skin retouching, you are simply going to duplicate the background layer twice by pressing Ctrl J, or you can use Command J on the keyboard. Double click to rename this to low, and you're going to double click to rename this to high. So basically, I'm going to be doing frequency separation on this image. So select the low frequency layer and turn off the high frequency layer. Come right here to filter and come to blur and come to Gaussian blur. Take the radius all the way down. Click on the skin by using this box and look for an area on the skin whereby it has more textures, and left click and start taking up the radius and stop at the point whereby the textures are just starting to disappear from the image. So for these kinds of images, I tend to use a radius of around 5 pixels, and I'll simply click OK. So come and select the high frequency layer, now activate it. Then you're going to come to image and come to apply image, and it's going to open up the apply image dialog box right here. So just come to layer and select low, channel, select RGB. So for an 8-bit image, if you're editing an 8-bit image, just come to the blend mode and change it from normal to subtract. The scale has to be 2 and offset 128. Make sure invert is not turned on and the opacity is 100%. Preserve transparency and mask are not checked. So if at all you're dealing with a 16-bit image like I have right here, use the blend mode of add. Scale is to offset 0 and simply turn on the invert option and click OK. So just come to the blend mode right here and change it from normal and change it all the way down to linear light. And after doing that, put these two in a group by pressing Ctrl, or you can use Command. Select both and press Command G or Ctrl G on the keyboard. Put these in a group. Open up the group and select the low frequency layer, and after selecting it, simply turn it off or hide it. So come to the brushes, right click and hold down, or you can select the mixer brush tool. If at all it is not under the brushes, you can locate it down here. So for whichever tool you select in Photoshop, the settings are always going to display above here. So after selecting the Mr. Brush tool, make sure it is clean. So make sure you select clean brush, and make sure the second option is checked, which is clean the brush after each and every stroke with a weight of 9%, load 75, mix at 90, flat 100%. Make sure sample all layers is not turned on. And after doing that, basically, we are slightly going to zoom into the image and start blending the skin tones. So in order to increase or decrease on the size of the Mr. Brush tool, you can use the open and close box brackets on the keyboard. So how to blend? We simply paint on the skin just like that. We left click and hold down if at all you're using your trackpad or mouse. So left click and hold down and you blend the skin tone or skin color. So basically you have to mix colors that are looking alike so that you can create a nice and smooth transition between those colors just like that. And you have to keep on using small sizes of the brush so that you don't spill color from one area to another. So I'm just going to do the same for every area that has skin. So I'll just do this quickly because I don't want the tutorial to be a long one. So I'll just come and paint on the skin and mix. So to mix a small area, use the box bracket keys on the keyboard to reduce or increase on the size of the brush. And if at all you are retouching, always make sure you retouch at a distance. So I'm just going to come and paint on the skin just like that. Come the hand area and mix those tones, reduce on the size, and continue working just like that. So you can see right now the skin looks smooth and it looks better than it was initially before. So I'm just going to come and blend just like that. So after doing that, we are simply going to come and turn on the high frequency layer, and you can see it's the before after. So select the high frequency layer and come and get the clone stamp tool. Zoom into the image by using Ctrl plus on the keyboard, or you can use Command plus on the keyboard. And after zooming in with the clone stamp tool selected, make sure the mode is normal, opacity and the flat at 100%. Align is selected and sample is set current layer, because we want to remove blemishes that are part of the currently selected layer. So what we want to do, zoom into the image and hold down the option key on the keyboard. So hold down the option key on the keyboard and left click to copy and paste. So hold down the alternate key on the keyboard and left click on a clean area near the pimple or the blemish, and simply left click once again to eliminate the pimple or blemish with clean skin. So you can use the option key if at all you're using Mac. So I'm just going to eliminate those pimples or blemishes. So take your time as you're trying to remove the pimples or blemishes. So right now we're done retouching the skin. So you can see before, after. So what we want to do, we want to create a stamp visible layer. And how to create a stamp visible layer, we're simply going to hold down Shift, Option, Command E for Mac. Then for Windows is Shift, Alternate, Control E on the keyboard to create a stamp visible layer. And we are simply going to come and duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J, or you can use Command J on the keyboard. After doing that, we are going to come to adjustments right here and simply come to gradient map. So when you apply gradient map, it's going to apply any other random color. So don't mind if at all your gradient tool is displaying a different color. So after doing that, just come and hide the gradient layer and select the gradient icon. Left click on the color option under properties, and left click once again on this left hand pointer. And as soon as you left click, come to the color and simply choose a darkest color of the skin tone and click OK. Left click on the brightest pointer, left click once again and choose the brightest point of the skin tone just like that, and click OK. Then you're going to click in the middle and type the location to 50 and click on the color option and choose what you feel is the mid-tone. So this are at about this color. This will represent our mid-tones for this kind of tutorial. I feel like that is a little bit too much. I feel like that is okay, and click OK. So after doing that, just come right here and simply click OK. Come and now activate the layer and simply change the blend mode from normal and change it all the way down to color. So right now we only want to even out the skin tone of our subject and create even skin tones. So what we want to do, we are going to drag this into a group and put the gradient color grading into a group. And with newer versions of Photoshop, simply come to this layer that we duplicated and just come to just come to select and come to subject, so that Photoshop can automatically select the subject for us. So it is going to do a pretty nice and quick job selecting the subject. So the subject has been selected automatically. So after it has been selected, just come to this layer mask icon and simply click on it to create a layer mask. So after it has been created, simply click on this layer mask and drag it and place it. So you left click and hold down and drag it and drop it over the group layer. And when you do that, you can see that the color grading is only affecting the model or the subject. So just come to this layer mask and now click on it. Come to the brushes and get the brush tool. Make sure the mode is set to normal, opacity and the flat 100%, and make sure hardness is set to 0 and soft round brush has been selected. And after that, make sure you have black and white on these two color swatches. So if at all you have any other random colors apart from black and white, you can simply press D on the keyboard, D for dog. You can reset by left clicking on these two swatches. So to eliminate colors from the hair and other areas, you're simply going to use black as the foreground color, because the color grading is not affecting the black areas in this layer mask. So just going to increase on the size of the brush by using the box bracket keys on the keyboard, and we are simply going to paint away the hair just like that. And by just doing this, the color grading is not going to be affecting those areas. So just going to paint just like that, reduce on the size, and also come and paint on the top, and don't forget the pants as you're doing this. So just come and paint. So for whichever area you don't want the color grading to affect, you can just simply come and paint just like that. So by just doing this, you can see we have gotten back the original colors in those particular areas. So you have to be careful as you're doing this, and always take your time. So you can now zoom in to eliminate the colors from maybe the makeup. So by using a small brush, you can eliminate it from her nails just like that, and paint on the lips to bring back the original lipstick color, and also eliminate it from the model's eyes just like that. And you can as well eliminate it from the eyebrows. So like I said, always zoom in and you paint in those areas you didn't want to be affected by the color grading. So right now we have only affected skin tone of our subject. So this is not all for the color grading. You can always come the opacity and reduce on the opacity to your liking. So I'll just go with around negative, rather 82%. So we're going to come to adjustments and simply come to hue and saturation. Come to master and simply select the reds, and just come the lightness and take it all the way down. So just slightly take it down, and come to adjustments and simply come to black and white. Change the blend mode from normal and change it to multiply. Come the opacity right here and simply reduce on the opacity to add more contrast to the model's skin tone. So I feel like this is okay, and we're going to create one final adjustment layer, which is selective color, and we're simply going to come and select blacks. Come to the cyan and simply create that kind of cinematic vibe to the blacks just like that. I feel like that is okay. So we're going to whiten the eyes by simply coming to adjustments and create a hue and saturation adjustment layer. Make sure master is selected and simply take the saturation all the way down to around -70. Then press Ctrl I, or you can use Command I on the keyboard to invert the effect. Zoom into the image by using Ctrl plus, or you can use Command plus on the keyboard. So with this, you can simply switch the brush back to white and simply paint just like that in the eyes, just like that, to whiten the eyes and teeth. So if at all there are teeth involved in the image. So this is what we have been able to achieve in Photoshop. So you can see the image looks better than it was initially before. So let me show you the overall before and after for Photoshop. Before, after, before, after. So after that, the next thing is going to be saving the image. So just come right here to File and come to Export and come to Export As. And it's going to open up the Export As dialog box right here in Photoshop. And as soon as that is open, make sure the file settings are put right. So make sure format is set to JPEG and quality is set all the way to the highest, which is 7 for this case. The resample is set to by cubic sharper because we want a sharp photo to be saved. And after doing that, simply come and make sure these two options, convert sRGB and embed color profile, have been checked in this case. And after you have done that, simply click on export in order to save the image in the location that you want and hit save. So this is how you can easily edit a photo in Photoshop from the very start to the very end. And if at all you have enjoyed this, simply like this video and don't forget to subscribe this channel. If at all you have been watching and you're not yet subscribed to this channel, Ronnix from ronnixphotography. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in yet more videos on this channel. And don't forget to keep practicing and also keep creating.